and welcome back to another episode of Heaven on Wheels. I'm joined here today with Pastor Parker, and it is the new year. How are you, sir?
God bless you. I am better this year than last year.
Good.
Doing better.
We continue to keep you in prayer. All of us love all of you guys and continue to keep you in prayer.
Yeah.
Last time we were talking about the city of Oakland and some things that were going on. What's on your mind this year, Pastor?
Yeah, we have three main initiatives. Again, I want to thank you and the church and friends, and of course all the saints for their prayers, because of what I've been through.
Yeah, exactly.
And just thank you for the prayers, and still seek your prayers. It's always tough when difficult when you lose someone you love so much, and that person is no longer there. But right. God is healing me, and thank you for that. But as the work continues on in ministry, we have three main initiatives that we're going to be focusing on this year for 2024. The first one is Stop the Killing. Stop the Killing.
Stop the killing.
Stop the killing. The killing and violence that goes on in our city. I was victimized last year in 2023 of being robbed downtown Oakland at gunpoint.
We haven't talked since then, so can you tell the viewers about what happened?
Yeah, I was downtown on Broadway at the Bank of the West where I bank, and before I could get in the bank, a car rolled up on me as I got out and took my iPhone and my deposit that I was going to deposit, and it was just a whole very dramatic scene, to catch me off guard like that. But I'm thankful they didn't shoot me, they didn't hit me over the head, which they could have done, but I'm still here.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
You want to tell us the initiatives, then we can circle back around and you can go into
initiatives. We have three main initiatives: Stop the Killing. The second one is Stop the Human Trafficking. And finally, Project Cleanup, to clean up our city. It's a disgrace that we have to drive throughout the city of Oakland and see so much debris, so much garbage on the side of the road. Yes, I know there's homelessness, but we have to clean up our city, beautify it. No one is going to want to come to Oakland and reside in Oakland, or even bring their business here with the city in such shambles. And I'm calling out the mayor, I'm calling out whoever, the leaders, the public leaders, the mayor's office, clean this city up. It's just a disgrace.
You had a relationship with the last mayor. Have you spoken with this mayor and developed any?
Oh yeah, this mayor has been at our church. She spoke here. She came campaigning here, and then after her victory, she came, and we've always been very gracious to her. But I'm a preacher. I'm a pastor. I'm not tied into no political affiliation. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Black Party, Blue Party, Yellow Party. I'm for justice.
Mm-hmm.
For justice. So we need justice in our city. We need our city to be cleaned up. We need to stop this human trafficking in the city of Oakland, which a lot of people don't know, that city of Oakland is the #1 city for human trafficking. And then finally, we have to stop the killing. Now that killing means stop the killing on our streets, especially in what they call the killing zone, from 35th all the way to the deep end of East Oakland. A lot of people are not aware there are people being killed almost every night, but you don't hear about it. But also, we need to stop the killing of our minds as well. So many people are tormented spiritually, socially, and just the negativity and I want, as a pastor, as a leader, I want to shine the light of Jesus, of course, #1, first priority, but second of all, to have a positive, to say, no, love our city. Take pride in our city. Oakland, all across the country, I've had relatives as far as Tennessee. They were so afraid of me being here because they've would hear the reports on the news as if the city of Oakland is like worse than Iraq or in some war zone. They've heard about all the smash and grab and all the things that are going on. But we have to do something to turn that around. I don't want to live in a city where it's read throughout the country as a negative. When you say this Oakland, automatically people are fringing. They're like, "Oh, wow, what you live in Oakland?" No, so this is our goal.
The news reported today that without a police chief, crime has risen. So
That is correct, and that's a shame.
the former police chief was doing a great job. When this new mayor came in, he went through some controversy, and as you know,
And she fired him, right?
and
Yeah,
she's refusing to put him on the ballot.
Yeah.
And he was cleared of any wrongdoings. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Have you had a chance to reach out to the mayor about that and to get him on the ballot?
Well, his name was on there for the slate, and it was turned in, but she refused the three names that the police commission recently turned in. So now they have to go back again and get more applicants. They were narrowed down to three applicants. I think one was from San Leandro, another one was, of course, the former chief. He was in there, and then another person, and she refused all three.
So what are your thoughts on that? If we're talking about getting
We need to
violence.
put pressure. The mayor has to do her job and appoint a chief of police, because it's like the parents are gone and the kids are running wild. And this is what we have in the streets. There's no leader. There's no chief. They're running wild in the city. The department needs a leader. They need a chief to give direction. So because to stop this violence, stop the killing, stop the crime, we need the police chief, a police chief, to take the helm and do something.
There seems to be some type of vendetta or something with this mayor and this former chief.
I believe so. Yeah. Well, she made it personal, and that should not be. You have to have tough skin as a leader, regardless of who criticizes you. You are the mayor, but you have to do what is in the best interest of the whole city, not in your best interest or your personal interest, but the interest of the community, of the city. And if it is a personal vendetta, shame on her, and I'll tell her personally. And what this will also further is that I will be the first to call her out to where she would not be mayor for another term.
Exactly.
And that's what we'll need, a leader to step up to say, hey, we need to take this city back and do something for all of Oakland, not just certain segments of Oakland, but all of Oakland.
So who else are you working with to stop the violence initiative?
Well, this is a church initiative that we're doing, and I'm calling for pastors to help us and community leaders to help us. But we're initiating from our church. But I'm reaching out to even if we can get some grants or some funding to reach out and to not only to pastors, schools, because even our schools are unsafe. There's been robbery right there at our school. In fact, my car got stolen right in front of my school.
So your car was stolen?
Yes.
After you were robbed at the bank?
Oh, that happened before.
Oh, that happened before.
Yeah, that happened before. So this has been 2023 was some year. I don't say all what happened to give a sad story. I say it to be a witness as a testimony that God is yet good. My car had got stolen in front of my school. Then I got robbed personally. That was the second thing that happened. Then I had been dealing. My lovely wife was battling cancer, and then she passed away. Those are just three of them. Then before the year ended, my brother-in-law, he passed away recently. I have to go to that service next Thursday in Sacramento. So yeah, it's been a whole combination of things that transpired that really, challenged me this year, and in terms of really, people thought I was the current Job story of all what was going on. But in spite of all that, God is yet in control. I'm here. I love the city of Oakland. I love the ministry here. I teach here in Oakland at Garfield Elementary. We love the children. That's why I'm a teacher too, because we must invest in our children so we'll have a better, a brighter future. So all I can say is we must the challenge continues. We must continue on.
So on a personal note, where do you find your faith, and where do you find the strength, courage, determination? In the midst of those things.
Right. It's only been through the power of God and the prayers and just really depending on the Holy Spirit, because to be transparent, I've suffered severe depression. I still had gone through it. I was coming out of it. I still battle that, just of the loss of my wife, because it's not my first go around. I was married 28 years before, and my first wife, Princess, the mother of my 4 children, passed away in 2016. So I've had 2,
in a 7-year span.
In a 7-year span, right? Yeah. So, but thanks to my daughter, Princess, she's been, and the children, all of them, have been so caring and been there to help hold me up.
And so you mentioned a depression. That's not something a lot of pastors speak about.
Oh, yeah.
So where do you go? Who do you turn to? I know you through prayer and you turn to your faith.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I don't have, well, I don't have like a psychiatrist I'm turning to, but I've just been turning to God, really. But what has helped me, what I guess the church culture should know, that when someone has experienced grief, we need to do better in this area. In other words, when you have the service and the homegoing service, people are around, But after that dust settles, and after that day, it's a blank.
It's a blank.
And then that person, I'm speaking for myself, you're going through loneliness, depression, isolation. You're not, So what I'm saying is we as a church culture need to do better in reaching out, if you will, reaching out to those who have experienced grief. Just if it's not so much what you say, just to say, we're here for you. We're praying for you. And like I said, I thank you for your prayers, Brother Keith, and being there, because it meant so much, because people don't know what you're going through.
Right.
You're going through a devastating time of sadness and grief. Yes, you prayed, and yes, we do know that your loved one, in my case, my wife, she's with the Lord. She's a place where we aspire to be. So we can't be selfish and say, "Oh Lord, give her back." Why did you know? I've never questioned God. She is with the Lord. She's in a better place where you are. And I'm glad about that. But on the other side of it, I'm sad because she's not here, and that's the human nature.
Absolutely, and we encourage you to stay. You and I speak frequently.
Yes,
and I know your children and your family members, but you also stay connected with your church.
Yeah, I stay connected with church, but I'm saying as a pastor, I don't think church members really realize what an individual goes through, especially a pastor. It's a lonely world out here. It's not like I had other pastors coming to me and talking to me and being there for me. I mean, maybe a few, but like I said, after the homegoing, it's a blank.
And hopefully these conversations will open up future dialogue, where we can seek help for not just members, but for pastors, musicians, and other members in leadership who usually are ministering to others.
Yeah, and recently I thank Bishop Macklin, because he contacted me this week, and I was able to spend some time with him. And actually, he has been there for me, and because my wife passed away on October 29th. The homegoing service was on November 9th. So this happened before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And so I was able, I spent time Thanksgiving dinner there at Glad Tidings actually, and with Bishop Macklin and their family there, and that was good. So it's those things that really help. But again, you're in a battle. Because you're grieving, you're in grief, you're sad, but I have to really pray and that this depression would not sink in.
And we'll continue to pray. We all need somebody.
Right.
And so we'll pray that that God will put others in your life in addition to us and Bishop Macklin and other churches to be a part of that. Now, so for your second initiative, you're talking about trafficking.
Yes, we have to give the awareness to stop the human trafficking, and that again, this is where you need the police department and everyone to come in, to do something about that. Yes, yeah. So that's where we're at with that. We want to stop the human trafficking, where those who have been away would know that to give awareness of that this is actually going on. A lot of people are not aware this is actually happening. So
do you have agencies or do you have others that are assisting with that particular project?
Yeah, well, we reached out to the county of Alameda, of course, public health, but again, this is a leadership crisis where it needs direction from the mayor's office, the police department, and those two departments really need to do something. Mm-hmm. And again, because there's no police chief, it has created problems and issues here in the city of Oakland.
And so your third initiative, you focused on
Project Cleanup. Yeah, that means to clean up. We need to clean up the city, beautify it. Now that means even if we need to start a whole program and have some funding from the mayor's office or the city to hire the young men and young women, whoever needs to work, and have them go throughout the city getting all this debris up, not just to leave it on waste management, but have a call for a whole project cleanup department, if you will, their emphasis is to go throughout the whole city cleaning up the debris. And then that leads into helping tackle the homeless problem. We can't just clean it up without saying, okay, this debris is coming from those on the street, but they need help. They need a lot of mental health issues or could be at play. They need housing. So we need to partnership with how do we get housing, and there's funding, there's federal funding now, there's state funding now that has been gone out to the churches that they can build affordable housing. And so that's what needs to take place.
When President Biden came to town in San Francisco, they demonstrated they can clean up.
They can.
And they can tackle.
That's what happened in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So the city needs to be cleaned up with this project cleanup to let people know that the city of Oakland is a place where they can live. Mm-hmm. And raise their children. Mm-hmm. And thrive, and to get the stigma off Oakland as being a place of torment or crime and violence, and we know that city of Oakland has history, such great history here. In terms for Black folks, it is the birthplace of the Black Panthers, mm-hmm. And then close, this whole Bay Area of San Francisco, Oakland, and then, of course, the higher institution, one of the top in the world, University of California, there at Berkeley, with the free speech movement and all of that, what that brought. but really, it's a city where there was a time where the residents was very concerned and concerned for justice, concerned of what's going on. But now that you have the whole gentrification that has taken place, you have people who have left the city. And, in the early 90s, mid 90s, 1990s, people would sell their property and they said, oh, we're going back home. Mm-hmm. And they go, buy with cash property. Those same people couldn't come back here now.
Well, that's the conspiracy. I was, a co-worker was talking to me. They kind of put something on my mind. They said that they think the people that are in office now, from the mayor to the DA, their assignment basically is to crash the city. Because if you can kind of crash the city, with the crime, with the trash, then you can get people to leave.
Yes.
Then you can make it not popular. You can make it not appealing and attractive. Once they get those people out, then you can bring in the quote unquote, from the gentrification type people that they want to bring in, and you can get those people in place, and now the prices and everything will go up. So I say, that's interesting. I say that's an interesting way.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that.
Well, yeah, and it just didn't start. Then it started, actually, our former Mayor Brown, Jerry Brown, who was former governor, also had ran for president. He's the one who implemented this when he was mayor, where he had given the blueprint for all the landowners and those who control the rents. He says, just raise it up, raise it, keep raising it, and that would help get rid of what they considered the undesirables, because they couldn't afford it.
Right.
And that's what happened. And where did those people end up going? They moved to Stockton. They moved to Tracy. They
Antioch.
moved to Antioch, Pittsburgh, Sacramento, and they've caused chaos in all those places where they moved and caused chaos. They moved, and of course that's what happened. They had to leave.
That was the plan.
That was the plan, and they implemented it, and they still are implementing it.
So on your third initiative, which one was the third?
Well, Project Cleanup was the third.
Okay,
The first one was Stop the Killing. The second one, Stop the Human Trafficking. And number 3, Project Cleanup, to clean up our city.
So, as always, we have to come back with another one because we always run out of time and there's so much more to say.
Right.
How would you like to wrap this one?
I'd like
talked
to first,
about a lot of things.
Thank you for this, and like to close with saying that we are better together in the city of Oakland. And what that means is the community, the church community, the public-private community, we need to come together and stop the hypocrisy, stop the... We're not in competition with one another. Our churches are not in competition. Our fight is against sin and injustice. And so I'm ending with, or closing with, what we need to do is learn to collaborate and work together, bring our strengths together. And where we see a need to help someone else, let's help them. Not using the old, this adage, well, I got it, you try to get yours. I got mine, you get yours. No, if I have, then I share.
Right.
And that's what the kingdom of God is all about. Advancing the kingdom, and I'm all for that. I'm all for collaboration, and I think especially the Black churches, if we could learn to work together, even through this pandemic and the COVID, just think how much powerful we would be if we would bring our resources together.
Absolutely.
And I'm all for that. I'm for churches merging, collaborating, and bringing all of our strengths together as one and build together,
Well, we appreciate it as always. We didn't cover some things. My friend calls them the alphabet mafia.
Yeah.
That's the, you're trans and all of that, and what's going on in our schools. You work in school, I work in school.
Yes.
So we can bring that back.
Yeah, we'll bring
next
that
time.
up on next time. Sure.
But we sure appreciate you. We continue to pray for you and your family, and
thank you.
We want to find out how we can support not just you and your family, but other people that experience depression, that go through the grieving process and other issues. So we can continue to find the resources for that. But we just thank you guys. We love you all. And I just want to say, remember, in all of your getting, get understanding.
Thank you.
God bless and talk to you next time. Thanks so much.
Bless you. All right.